something that you really care about, then you protect it at all costs.
Gotham will be torn apart, and out of the ashes, a dark hero will rise. The city's not safe.
You want to be a hero?
A drop of blood in each wine glass makes madmen of the ruling class.
This virus isn't a disease. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Mario has Alice touches virus.
You're the real virus, Jim. You seep into people's lives until you destroy them.
Lee, why'd you do this?
I want you and all your darkness.
I am tired of sitting at the kids' table. We can have it all.
I know who I am. I don't need anyone to tell me.
I loved her, Oswald, and you killed her.
You can't betray Barbara.
He's always got your best interest at heart.
Did you kill Butch? It's not like you gave me a choice. There's always a choice.
My name is the Riddler, and I became him when I killed you.
Newsflash, Ed. I'm not dead. You were the one time I let love weaken me, and I want you around as a constant reminder to never make that mistake again.
Gotham can be reborn if you become a symbol against fear.
I am Ra's al Ghul. Fulfill your destiny. Kill him. You've broken through your conditioning.
You don't control me anymore!
This is who I've always been.
This is who you are. If you love Lee, go save her.
What have you done?
What do you want?
I want more. Figured this was a good place to start.
Give it a whirl.
I've been trying to find who I am for so long. Who am I supposed to be?
Money, now!
You gotta find something that you really care about, and you protect it at all costs. And when you find it, you'll never be lost again.
I can make a difference in Gotham, Alfred. I know I can.
It's dangerous. You are engaging villains, Master Bruce.
Crane?
Jonathan Crane isn't here anymore.
It's just the Scarecrow.
Hot damn, it's like Christmas.
He's coming!
Oh.
Scarecrow! GCPD can no longer keep us safe.
I am not giving the city over to Penguin. This is a war, not one battle.
Let me go, okay?
Not a chance.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
All right, Mr. Let's have some real fun. I wonder, what scares you the most?
There is time for masks, and there is a time for Bruce Wayne.
You don't know anything about me.
Alfred, I feel more alive than I've ever felt before.
Well, well. Who are you, huh?
Rough night, Bruce. Get into a fight?
Rock climbing.
Rock climbing.
He's getting away! You have a list. I want it.
I'm done playing nice.
The hell are you supposed to be?
Tonight, you will know fear.
I'm all for you protecting the innocent, but I won't have you risking your life.
It is a thin Kevlar weave with reinforced forearm protection. Extremely lightweight. And actually, bulletproof. You know, for rock climbing. Now we're down for a closer look.
How did I know you were going to say that?
What is up, everybody? My name is BobaTalks and welcome to a brand new Gotham Season 4 video. And hot damn, it's like Christmas because we just got a massive trailer which you just saw, which was called the Dark Band trailer, where we got to see many new things coming to the first half of Season 4. Now, obviously, the first half of the trailer reflected back over the events of Season 3, leading up to the very final moments that brought us the beginning of Bruce's vigilante career, Selina stepping into her Catwoman path and bridging the sirens together, and a whole bunch more. Yet the second half of this trailer, which shows a good portion of the first half of Season 4, gave us a much bigger look at what is to come compared to previous trailers. So let's break this down, guys. Now, to be sure to not miss out on any Gotham videos, guys, be sure to hit the bell button to enable notifications for this channel, as I will be covering season 4 with trailer breakdowns, theories, and episode discussions. So at the beginning of the new footage for season 4, we see some familiar shots from the previous season 4 trailers with Bruce overlooking the city. Now, more importantly, with Alfred's voiceover saying that you need to find something you really care about and protect it at all costs. And when you find it, you'll never be lost again. This is just meant to highlight that Bruce has found his purpose, or at least is starting to find his purpose, with this new path he is on as a vigilante, and he will never be going back on it again from this moment forwards. Now, from this point onwards, I'm not necessarily going to talk about the trailer in order, as there are certain parts that are shown that connect to other parts shown even later in the trailer, so I'm going to connect the dots as best I can. Now, as you can tell, if you haven't been paying much attention to Gotham Season 4 news, or if this is the first trailer you have even seen for the new season, they're really showing off Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow. In the previous trailer we got for season 4 of Gotham, namely the Fear trailer, where we got a lot more footage of Crane going round as the Scarecrow, with Jim going after him, and this is mainly featuring the second episode of season 4 named The Fear Reaper, which is a very heavily featured Scarecrow horror-esque episode. We saw Jim actually in Arkham Asylum patrolling around with his gun, and from what the official synopsis from episode 2 states, fighting off lunatics and even the demon within himself, which of the latter I'll get into soon. Now, in this new Dark Band trailer, we see some more footage from the scenes of Jim at a fear gas infested Arkham Asylum. In this scene here, we can actually see Scarecrow approaching Jim on the floor, holding his scythe to his neck and then spraying a massive amount of fear gas in Jim's face. Now then it jumps to Jim looking absolutely terrified of what he is seeing now under the influence of Scarecrow's fear gas, and from what we see at different points in the trailer, there's quite a few things that Jim will be seeing. What I first noticed is this image here where it seems like clown dressed people are approaching someone who I believe is Jim. Now, if you are a fan of the comics, you may know that Jim doesn't particularly like clowns, so this very well could be one of the first things that Jim hallucinates when he is hit by Scarecrow's fear gas. Now, jumping to the next thing that Jim hallucinates, pointing to one of the things that Jim apparently fears the most, which isn't really surprising, is that we see Lee in a bath seemingly killing herself. Now, this is definitely all happening while Jim is at Arkham, so it isn't real, but I think that this is meant to represent Jim's fear of losing Lee. At the end of season 3, we saw how unhappy Lee was with life, and to the point where she even injected herself with the Alice Tech virus, so knowing how much Lee is struggling and how dark she actually went last season, it's not unreasonable for Jim to fear something like this actually happening. However, the next part to this we see that is going on later in the trailer is that Jim is even driven to the same point, while still infected with the fear gas, to use the razor blade on himself. Now, this is both because Jim might possibly not want to live with Lee doing this to herself, but also we have to bear in mind that Jim has been hit with the fear gas, which really does make you absolutely petrified and amplifies any irrational fear you have to an insane degree in your head. So no, I don't think that Jim would be this dark to the point of killing himself too if he wasn't under the influence of Scarecrow's fear gas, if Lee were to do this for real on the show. The fear gas is driving him to do this because not only is it amplifying his fear to an insane degree, he probably feels incredibly guilty for as to why she kills herself in this hallucination. Because Lee definitely wasn't shy to say last season as to how much she blames Jim for ruining her life, and those lives around him for whoever he comes across. Now, on top of all this, we see a bit more of the person Scarecrow first infected at the home of Jonathan Crane himself, and we even see how Jim finds out about how Scarecrow is in Gotham because of the person who Crane sprayed with fear gas is actually hung up like a scarecrow screaming out his name. Now, I believe that this moment could occur in episode 1 due to the synopsis for episode 1, Pax Penguina, saying how Gordon fears Jonathan Crane is still alive and back in Gotham. So what else can we expect from Scarecrow? Well, before this trailer came out, we had certain hints and pointers all over the place. One source namely being one of the executive producers for Gotham, Danny Cannon, who first dropped this image here of what I speculated to be Scarecrow's thugs as they're wearing gas masks, have these chambers and equipment that looks like it is designed to disperse something, so it was a pretty sure bet. Now in this trailer we get to see some live action moments from these thugs who are indeed a part of Scarecrow's operation to bring fear throughout the city. We could see the very moment from the photo we saw brought to life in this trailer as these thugs are walking to what seems to be a bank in Gotham City and literally infecting anyone they can get their hands on with fear gas. We also saw these guys in the previous Gotham Fear trailer who were up to no good for Scarecrow in another scene which appeared to be at some kind of dinner party going on. You can see a breakdown of this in my Fear trailer breakdown video, which I'll leave in the description below if you haven't seen it already. And lastly, for the Scarecrow aspect to this trailer is that we actually saw quite the perspective of what fear looks like through the eyes of people who are infected with the fear gas. And among these people aren't just the citizens, but Penguin himself seeing a very, very creepy version of the Riddler. Now, I absolutely love how creepy Nigma looks here, with blood seeping into question marks coming from his eyes, and glowing green centering around his pupils. So is this real? It's kind of hard to say, but I don't think it is, as I think Nigma won't really be himself when he gets out of ice, which Corey Michael Smith has said himself, so I doubt that this is actually him taking advantage of a fear-gassed out Penguin just after he got out of ice, so it's most likely Penguin seeing someone else as Nigma, as this is what he fears most, Nigma getting out of ice and becoming his biggest threat again. This isn't even to mention how the other designs from people who are seeing other people all zombified up due to the fear gas looks incredible. For me personally, it's absolutely everything I wanted Scarecrow to be on the show, fear gas effects included. So all of this content they've teased us with for Scarecrow's appearance in Season 4 looks incredible. But let's move on to the other parts of the trailer that also look like we're in for a treat. So on top of the footage we've already seen in previous Season 4 trailers, which include the whole Bruce talk of how he can make a difference in Gotham, with various shots of him going out as a vigilante, we did get a few new peeks with extended looks at already seen before footage. Here we see a better look at Selina absolutely slaying some of your typical Gotham criminals in the alleyway, so don't say she didn't warn you. And can we now talk about how we're effectively getting our first look at a new proto Catwoman suit, one of two even in the trailer. So I think that this moment here in the trailer looks absolutely amazing, and Cameron looks great in what she is wearing. I think it's the typical sleek and slim Catwoman skin tight suit with a grey kind of tone to it, with what seems to include a utility belt of sorts too. So it looks like Bruce isn't the only one who is getting into more of a proto suit vibe for their futures. It makes sense for Selina to be getting her Catwoman bodysuit look, minus the actual cat cowl vibe to it this early too, as she is hanging out with Tabitha and Barbara, who are both badass women within their own rights, and Tabitha has already given her the whip, so this would come along naturally too. We also see Bruce and Selina talking on top of the roof of what is most likely the Iceberg Lounge, as they're both wearing the same clothes as to when they attend the opening of the Iceberg Lounge in the episode. Selina is telling Bruce how he doesn't actually know anything about her, probably pointing towards the fact that she is going through her own massive transformation on the show, with the teased Sirens vibe from her, Tabitha and Barbara. But this is also ironic, as Bruce will probably be like, well yeah, me too, I'm going out stopping crime in a freaking suit, you know nothing about me as well. We also see a moment from Bruce which I wasn't really sure how I felt about at first. Sure, before Bruce is Batman, he's probably going to make a whole barrel full of mistakes, maybe even a barrel or 5. So practice makes perfect, right? But usually most people in Gotham would know who Bruce Wayne is. Now I'm sure that's something most people can agree upon. But here we see that Bruce has got himself in a tight situation, which we know he will get out of, but nevertheless his identity as this vigilante is revealed to these men. And it's not like he's going to kill them, so with Gordon this season going after this vigilante that is acting out there on the streets of Gotham, it would only take one of these criminals to call in a favor one day at the GCPD perhaps to just say exactly who it is. Or is this an example of comic book logic at its finest, at how if this happened anyway, no one at the GCPD would believe a criminal crying out Bruce Wayne's name is on the streets whooping our asses? Either way guys, I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments. On top of this guys, separately from the trailer for a second here, we got a sneak peek at Robin Lord Taylor's take on Bruce this season at a recent convention, and he said how he's going to be the big bad. To overcome these villains, he'll have to get on our level. Now tying into the trailer again, this is going to be interesting to see, as we all know Batman, or different takes on Batman, has different aspects to his darkness when facing against criminals. Now I'm sure Robin Lord Taylor meant more by this statement, but for now I think that we can attribute this to the fact that we see our young Bruce using one of his winking at the future interrogation techniques, which the future Batman certainly isn't shy of, on the show now, this season, by using a makeshift flamethrower. Now granted, most likely not actually applying the flame or having any contact with the person, but the heat from the flame in an attempt to make them squeal some information out. I personally really like the fact that we're getting this, and I think it sets a route for as to why Bruce goes on to one day not really think twice before he breaks a wrist if you have to make him as Batman ask twice about something. So it's a really cool tease which we know will only be getting much worse in the future with his vigilante tactics. We also get our first look at the grapple hook, which we were teased Bruce would be getting alongside his body armor way back at San Diego Comic-Con, and I was really hoping that it wouldn't be a proto-gun version, and luckily it isn't, as that would be way too soon in my opinion, but I'm perfectly content with him using this version of the grapple to get out of tight spots quickly, and it's a really good foreshadowing to the ultra cool one he will have one day. Now, talking of a proto-Catwoman suit earlier, here we see Selina in something totally different. It looks like Selina is getting some identity concealment of her own, and I think this may be a result of Selina actually helping Bruce in the scenes we see of him actually in the body armor from Lucius with people firing at him as seen in this scene. I think this person here on the right in this image could very well be Selina, and this is her helping out Bruce. I think this will be a new path for the two of them in this kind of take on the Gotham universe, that they will fully well know what each other is more or less doing, but I think Selina will screw Bruce over a few times in a very Catwoman-esque anti-hero way at various points in time, rather than just being his helpful sidekick on these missions that he is going out on. But this is why I think that she is wearing that identity concealment on her face with that hood up. Now guys, you have to love how Lucius Fox isn't taking any crap with the excuses from Bruce and Alfred on his nights out rock climbing, as we see a bit more footage from what we have already seen briefly before with him presenting Bruce with his body armor he will be getting a few episodes into the season, replacing his makeshift identity concealment that he will have at the beginning. Now for some reason I'm actually quite surprised to hear that this body armor is actually bulletproof, and I've heard that quite a lot of other people are saying, oh, how is a leather jacket bulletproof? But I suppose if they are doing Bruce going out this early into Gotham, and to also get away with him coming across criminals with guns, they would have to give him this thin Kevlar weaved suit to explain how he gets away with death most of the time without a bunch of experience. But really it's for, you know, rock climbing. I also absolutely love the fact that Alfred is assuming his future role as well in actually being the recon for Bruce, and we can actually see how they are communicating over earpiece. Now is it just me, or is this actually Bruce with a deeper voice at the end of the trailer, when the voice says, going down for a closer look, and Alfred replies, how did I know you were going to say that?
I went down for a closer look.
How did I know you were going to say that?
So with Lucius Fox's proto-Batman suit, do we also get a very early voice modulator? Let me know your take on this in the comments below, guys. Now, for the very last couple of gems for the trailer is that I believe that this moment here, when we see Ivy, which we did briefly see in the previous Fear trailer with her face morphing, I believe that this is not fear gas, as we see her take something just before the change to her face starts happening. I mentioned in my last trailer breakdown when we first saw a glimpse at this part of season 4 with Ivy's face changing that this could be our first look at Ivy's first steps into more of a poison Ivy. We know that last season we got glimpses of with her self-manufactured plant fragrances that seduced people to do what she wanted, and I think that whatever she has whipped up now and has taken in this moment here will be something else entirely. She seems to be in a spot of trouble too, so she probably takes it to get herself out of the situation she is in, so I'm very hyped to see what changes this will have on herself with her latest mix of plant potion. And for those who have been shouting that they want more Zsasz, well, here you have it. Even though we knew we were getting him for a while and he's been sort of shown in previous Gotham Season 4 trailers, his line from this trailer is pretty funny, as he is looking very happy at the gun collection that Barbara and Tabitha have. Let me know why you think Zsasz is even here though in the comments down below. But apart from that, everybody, that is all I've got to say for this video. To be fair, that was quite a long one because this was a really big trailer and there was a lot of new stuff to talk about. So if you did enjoy it, please hit that like button, as it really does show your support for the channel. If you guys want to stay a bit more up to date with me personally, you can follow me on my social media, which should be popping up on the screen around here, or you can click on the links in the description below. But other than that, guys, subscribe if you are new, as there will be lots of DC TV content on this channel with the new shows coming back, with Gotham Season 4 coming back this Thursday, you name it. But apart from that, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.